Comic-Jutsu ain't nothing to F with. Comic-Jutsu ain't nothing to truck with. What's up? Welcome back, denizens. JT McRoberts here with you once again from Comic-Jutsu. And I thought we'd do a short little Friday night live stream. Talk about some of the fun things that have been going on in the world of comics this week. And I don't know about you, but the thing that got me the most excited was the unexpected press release from creator Bill Willingham about his book Fables, at one time published by Vertigo and DC, which to my understanding is a creator-owned project, but of course, you know, DC has very good lawyers and complicated ways of screwing over anybody that creates anything for them. Just ask, you know, Jerry Siegel and Joe Shuster or Alan Moore if you want a more recent reference. So apparently Bill Willingham got sick of people asking about the delays for Fables, the Black Forest, which he said has been done for several years now, but DC has not published it for whatever reason. Now, there are a lot of people that are up in arms just about Bill Willingham existing for some reason. I don't know what their political issues are with him. If somebody wants to respond with something like some concrete examples rather than just spewing out all these bizarre accusations, you know, I'll be happy to look it over. But as far as I know, I mean, I don't know what people's exact problem is with the guy. I try not to pay attention to all of my creators' personal lives and politics and whatnot. I'm more interested in the actual work itself. And this press release about Fables is quite interesting. And it might be that the last straw was that DC released something else called Fire and Ice, while Willingham is working on an adaptation of Fire and Ice from the Batchke and Frazetta Corporation, whoever owns that particular property, you know. But anyway, so let's take a look at it, shall we? So here we go. If we flip over here, show you his Bill Willingham's Substack, where you can go and read it all yourself, by Bill Willingham for immediate release. As of now, 15th of September 2023, the comic book property called Fables, including all related Fables spin-offs and characters, is now in public domain. So take heed, Outlaw comic creators. What was once wholly owned by Bill Willingham is now owned by everyone for all time. It's done, and as most experts will tell you, once done, it cannot be undone. Takebacks are neither contemplated nor possible. Question: why did you do this? A number of reasons. I've thought this over for some time. In no particular order, they are: 1, practicality. When I first signed my creator-owned publishing contract with DC Comics, the company was run by honest men and women of integrity, who, for the most part, interpreted the details of that agreement fairly and above the board. Okay? When problems inevitably came up, we worked it out like reasonable men and women. Since then, over the span of 20 years or so, those people have left or been fired, to then be replaced by a revolving door of strangers of no measurable integrity, who now choose to interpret every facet of our contract in ways that only benefit DC Comics and its owner companies. This sounds exactly like something Alan Moore would say. At one time, the Fables properties were in good hands, and now, by virtue of attrition and employee replacement, the Fables properties have fallen into bad hands. The cat's down here making noise, Of course, we can't shoot a vlog without the cat. Do you want to make a cameo? Come here. Come here. Since I can't afford to sue DC to force them to live up to the letter and the spirit of our long-time agreements, since even winning such a suit would take ridiculous amounts of money out of my pockets and years out of my life, I'm 67 years old and don't have the years to spare, I've decided to take a different approach and fight them in a different arena, inspired by the principles of asymmetric warfare. The one thing in our contract the DC lawyers can't contest or reinterpret to their own benefit is that I am the sole owner of the intellectual property. I can sell it or give it away to whomever I want. I choose to give it away to everyone. If I couldn't prevent Fables from falling into bad hands, at least this is a way I can arrange that it also falls into many good hands. Since I truly believe there are still more good people in the world than bad ones, I count it as a form of victory. Number 2, philosophy. In the past decade or so, my thoughts on how to reform the trademark and copyright laws in this country and others, I suppose, have undergone something of a radical transformation. The current laws are a mishmash of unethical backroom deals to keep trademarks and copyrights in the hands of large corporations who can largely afford to buy the outcomes they want. You know, some of these complaints are not entirely dissimilar to what's going on with the SAG-AFTRA strikes right now, and the Writers Guild strike. So, in my template for radical reform of those laws, I would like to say that if any IP is owned by its original creator for up to 20 years from the point of first publication and then goes into the public domain for any and all to use. However, at any time before that 20-year span bleeds out, you, the IP owner, can sell it to another person or corporate entity who can have exclusive use of it for up to a maximum of 10 years. That's it. Then it cannot be resold. It goes into public domain. So then, at the most, any intellectual property can be kept for exclusive use for up to about 30 years and no longer without exception. Now, this is a rather long press release, so you might want to go over and check it out. Question: what exactly has DC Comics done to provoke this? Too many things to list exhaustively, but here are some highlights. Throughout the years of my business relationship with DC, with Fables, with other intellectual properties, DC has always been in violation of their agreements with me. Really? You don't say. Like forgetting to seek my opinion on artists for new stories, or for covers, or formats of new collections and such. In those times when called on it, they automatically said, sorry, we overlooked you again. It just fell through the cracks. They used the fell through the cracks line so often and so reflexively that I eventually had to bar them from using it ever again. They are often late reporting royalties and often underreport said royalties, forcing me to go after them to pay the rest of what's owed. So, yeah, so this goes on for a while. It's really fascinating reading. Are you concerned with what DC will do now? He says, no, I gave them years to do the right thing. I tried to reason with them, but you can't reason with the unreasonable. They used these years to make soothing promises, tell lies about how dedicated they were towards working this out, and keep dragging things out as long as possible. I gave them an opportunity to renegotiate the contracts from the ground up, putting everything in unambiguous language, and they ignored that offer. I gave them that opportunity twice to simply tear up our contracts, and we each go our separate ways, and they ignored those offers. So he goes on and on about this for a little while. So that's pretty fascinating. So from what he says, you can now take those characters, Bigby Wolf, all of them, put them into your own stories or release your own version of Fables stories. Now, mind you, you can't use the exact DC IPs, okay? Like you can't take the exact artistic representations of Bigby Wolf as presented in Fables. You know, you have to put your own little twist on it. Kind of like how Dracula can be used by anyone. You know, you just can't take the Gene Colan Dracula from Marvel and put him into your books, you know, with the red cape and the black and blue outfit and whatnot. So pretty interesting, I thought. Now, of course, now mind you, I'm reading this here a little bit closer because my glasses are messed up today. But if you want, you know, I recommend that you check out Willingham's Substack. I'll even put a link to it here at the bottom. And I recommend that you go over and read the entire release. And of course, DC released their own statement. The Fables, comic books, and graphic novels published by DC and the storylines, characters, and elements therein are owned by DC and protected under the copyright laws of the United States and throughout the world in accordance with applicable law and are not in public domain. DC reserves all rights and will take such actions as DC deems necessary or appropriate to protect its intellectual property rights. So there you go. So of course they have to come out and release a statement like that. But, you know, for the underground cartoonists out there, we recently talked about swiping and using other people's IPs. I think morally and ethically, this absolves you. Do what you want. Take those characters, use them like Willingham said you can. You know, repurpose them for your own stories. So pretty interesting. I'm already thinking of ways to maybe have Bigby Wolf make a guest appearance in one of my books. We'll see. Nothing anytime soon. I'll let somebody else test those waters first. But if you're a small enough fish in this really big pond, like DC's really going to take you to court. I mean, they'll probably try to make example out of somebody if they do something, you know, successfully. But who knows? And even then, you know, maybe that's a good way to gain some notoriety. You know, no publicity is bad publicity. So who knows? So Outlaw Comics, there you go. You got the go-ahead from the creator. Now that's what I want to see. Is I want to see creators saying, yeah, go ahead, make your fan films, do your version of this, do your fan stories, your fiction, your fan fiction, your shipping, whatever your tastes are. And once they give you that go-ahead, that green light, then go for it. So there you go. Pretty fascinating development. We'll have to pay attention to that and see how it unfolds in the coming days, weeks, months, and years. So, how's your week been going? I thought that was pretty exciting. We've had a good week here at Comic-Jutsu. We released the first issue of the ongoing Invisibles breakdown, so definitely check that out if you haven't yet. It's something that I wanted to do for a long time, and finally got the ball rolling on it. So we'll start working on issue 2's breakdown very, very soon. But in the meantime, I'm just a busy guy. I've still got my day job to contend with, and during the nights, I'm continuing to break down my graphic novel. Here's my buddy who wants to make another cameo. Say hey to everybody, Natty. Okay. So maybe it's time for me to wrap this up because he's not wanting to cooperate. You can hear him talking. Do you want to say bye? Come here and say bye. Come here. Here. Say bye to everybody. Say bye to everybody. Bye. Say bye, Natty. His brother Sasha is apparently camera shy. You haven't seen him yet, but Natty has no such qualms. He loves being the center of attention, like any good Ketchi should, right? All right, that's all from Comic-Jutsu, baby. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, tell your friends about the channel, spread the good word of the Comic Book Dojo, and we'll see you next time. Yay!